I've heard people say that they could give up cheese if they gave up their will to live. Now, this is not necessary. Yes, you can become dairy-free and still have cheese. How is it possible? Today I'm going to show you how to make a nut cheese. This one is a cheddar cheese and it's going to be aged. This is what you need. I've soaked 1.5 cups of cashews overnight, then drained them and rinsed them. And that's just going into my food processor. Now, it's really important to soak the nuts. Now, I've talked previously about removing the inhibitor enzymes, but there's also another reason. Especially with the cashews and this product, I want a really creamy texture at the end. I don't want chunks of nuts in the end. So if you soak it overnight or 5 hours, then you're good to go. Half a red capsicum. I know that's not quite half, but I actually ate the rest of it, or somebody ate the rest of it. That's just going into the blender. I'm going to add a clove of garlic and half the juice and the juice of half a lemon. Just got my hand there to catch the seeds. So if you accidentally let a seed go in, it becomes a bit bitter, so just ditch the seed. So what's going to ferment this is time and heat, but I'm going to give it a little kickstart by adding a probiotic capsule. I know, it's a bit of overkill. If I'm blending it, I don't really need a garlic crusher, but I just want to make sure that the garlic is evenly distributed. Now, garlic is not very sattvic if you're following an Ayurvedic diet, and I'm aware of that. And you can substitute in cooked meals with hing or asafoetida, but that's not good raw. So I'm sticking with the garlic in raw things. Let's blend that up. So if it's not giving you enough blending action, because I'm a bit short on the capsicum, which adds liquid, you could add a little bit more water. The other thing that gives the flavour is going to be the nutritional yeast, and I love this. I used to buy smaller bags, but I love it so much that my bags are getting bigger and bigger. It's great, not only for the cheesy flavour, but it's high in B vitamins, which is great for vegetarians. I'm going to add 1/4 cup of that. Yum. And mix that up. And what I love about raw food is it's not an exact science. I'm a kind of near enough is good enough kind of person, and things change from day to day. You can't say how much water content is in a piece of fruit or in a vegetable. It's going to change. So what I'd like to do is blend this until it turns into a nice thick paste. I'm adding the probiotic capsules. So that's just going to ferment it. I've used Inner Health Plus. You can make sure that you've got a vegan one. There's some available. So just be careful which brand you buy because some have dairy in them. All right. Okay, it's not, it needs more. So I'm just going to put some of this in. It did need half a capsicum, and I was trying to get away with doing less, but it needs more liquid. Scraping down the sides in between. Now you could add a whole lot of water and get it to blend smoothly straight away, but I'm trying to use the least amount of water as possible because I know I'm going to have to dehydrate the cheese and that will just take longer. Now some people make their cheeses, their raw vegan cheeses, by squeezing them out in a nut bag, but frankly I don't want to dirty up my nut bag for my beautiful milks by putting fermented cheese in it. So maybe it's a lazy thing or just a hygiene thing, but this is how I'm going to do it. I know there's a lot of to and fro. So we've got cashews, I've got my red capsicum, I've got my nutritional yeast, a bit of garlic for flavour, a bit of lemon juice for the tang. Now the yeast wants something to eat, so I'm just going to put a little bit of rice malt syrup. You could use honey, you could use maple syrup, maybe just about a teaspoon. So it's going to be eaten by the bacteria, so it won't be sweet in the end. The other product that I will add at the end is salt. Now salt does retard the fermentation process and I don't want that, so I'm going to add it at the end. I'm using salt as a preservative as well as a flavour, and I'm going to leave this overnight in the oven with the oven light on, and that's enough warmth to let the bacteria, the good bacteria, do their job. Now I'm scraping out that very last little bit because I don't like it when I watch other cooking videos and they put the empty containers with half the product in there in the sink. I'm like, what about that? We could have licked the bowl. So don't leave any chocolate cake behind. Certainly don't leave any of this beautiful cheese mixture behind. Okay, fermentation. Did you know that fermentation is affected by the moon, just like us? So if it's a full moon, it will ferment quicker. It's also affected by the bowl that it's in. So avoid putting it in a stainless steel or a plastic bowl. Just like a ceramic bowl is the best choice. So putting it in the oven overnight with the light on will provide enough warmth for it to ferment. Another thing to consider is also the temperature outside. If you're living in a place where it's cold and it's winter, it's going to take longer to ferment. For me, it's summer now, so things are moving along quite quickly. All right, so let's just pretend that some time has elapsed, and I'm going to show you one that I made yesterday. So this is a cheese that I've had fermenting in the oven overnight. Yes, it looks a bit dry and crusty, but see how firm it is now? Now, if yours isn't that firm, you could just leave it a little bit longer. Okay, so I'm going to shape this cheese now. Oh, I want to add the salt, that's right. And then I'm going to shape it. You do whatever shape you like. I'm going to choose just a traditional block of cheese. Don't be afraid of salt. There's many kinds, Celtic sea salt, pink Himalayan, Maldon sea salt. As long as you're not using that Saxa iodized salt, you can have beneficial minerals, which are great for the body. Okay. Wash my hands. I'm known for a splasher, you know, when I've been to the kitchen, because I normally just flick it everywhere. Everyone gets sprayed in water. I'm trying to be contained. Okay. So this is going to be shaped into a rectangle. I've got the baking paper so that I'm not so messy with my hands. Just go here. I've got that container because I'm going to keep it in the fridge. Doesn't have to be perfect, but you know, since you're watching, I might as well make it a nice shape. Okay, I'm just going to leave it in the fridge unopened, and the fridge dries things out, and I actually want it to dry out. I want it to form a little bit of a crust. And then once it firms, maybe in an hour or, yeah, probably in about an hour, it's good enough to eat. You could slice it. Another thing I like to do is roll it in poppy seeds. I'll see if I've got some poppy seeds and we'll do that. Okay, so into the fridge. I'm just going to check on our cheese. So I put this in the fridge about 2 hours ago. And I'm just going to let it flip. See, one side's dry and one side's moist. I just want it to dry a little bit on both sides. And this is our other cheese. This cheese has firmed up enough that it will hold its shape. And I'm just going to flip it. Looks good. So you probably didn't know that your fridge can act as a dehydrator as well. It dries things out. Put it back in. When I'm ready to eat that, maybe in an hour or so, it's going to be perfect. Let's put the finishing touches on the cheddar cheese. So it's firmed up nicely in the fridge. You could serve it as is, but I'm going to roll it in poppy seeds. Did you know in the UAE, where I used to live, poppy seeds are illegal? You can't have an orange and poppy seed muffin. I don't even think you can have a poppy seed stuck in your teeth, otherwise they'll cart you off to jail. I don't know. It's what I heard. I never took the risk. All right, so we're going to roll this in our poppy seeds. I just really like the contrast of colours and textures. And the ends. And that's it. I'll choose its best side. We all have a good side. And then serve it with whatever you would normally serve a cheese with. This would be great with chopped up vegetables. I'm going to place some zucchini crackers on here. Maybe some dried fruits like apricots, some walnuts. Ooh, what else is in my fruit bowl? Maybe a juicy passion fruit. Passion fruit looks good. Some walnuts. Let's add some apricots, fresh apricot. Oh, it's so cute and blushing. There it is, a beautiful cheddar cheese. But of course, the proof is in the pudding. Look how nicely that's firmed up from that original gooey kind of mess. I think before I eat that, okay, excuse me for eating. So many flavors there. The tangy, cheesy, lemony, fermented taste. A little hint of garlic. Plus I had the contrast of the zucchini cracker, the apricot. I recommend it. Go make this.